Hello everybody, Juan here with BitcoinNews.com at Adopting Bitcoin 2023. We're joined by Francis Pouliot. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Juan.
Awesome. So you just made an announcement, really exciting actually. You launched the Bull Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Why?
We're launching a Bitcoin wallet. And the idea behind the Bitcoin wallet is that I've noticed that one of the reasons why people are not self-custodying is because when a new person onboards to Bitcoin, their whole experience revolves around the Bitcoin exchange experience. So people that get into Bitcoin, they're not getting paid in Bitcoin. They're usually not, a merchant accepting Bitcoin payments. Although these exist, vast majority of people are onboarding to Bitcoin through an exchange. And when you buy Bitcoin on an exchange, the whole experience of the exchange is crafted so that the user funds his account with fiat and then buys Bitcoin, and the experience kind of like ends at that stage. There's no real reason for the exchange to push the user to self-custody. Like the user has already made his money off of the exchange has already made his money off of the user. So the user experience changes there. Bull Bitcoin, on the other hand, is a non-custodial exchange. So we require the user to have a Bitcoin address before they make a purchase. So on Bull Bitcoin, you can't buy a Bitcoin unless you first put a Bitcoin address, which is going to be the address at which you will receive the withdrawal. But we've noticed that this requirement to require a Bitcoin address before doing a trade was creating a lot of friction because people don't know which wallet they should use. They're afraid of using a wallet. They're just confused by the idea of a Bitcoin address generally. So typically for a new user, they interface with a non-custodial exchange and they're just confused and they might be scared and they end up just like not using a non-custodial exchange and going for a custodial exchange because on the custodial exchange it's so easy. You send the money, you click buy and you're done. So our idea was to merge the concept of a non-custodial mobile wallet and a non-custodial exchange. So with the Bull Bitcoin wallet that we just released today on Google Play, the user is going to download the Bull Bitcoin exchange and mobile app. It's one app and it's going to be open source. You're going to open up the app. You're going to see that you have a fiat account and a Bitcoin account. You fund your fiat account. You click buy. It just says, congratulations, you've bought Bitcoin. The Bitcoin just appear in your Bitcoin account. So it looks almost like a custodial exchange experience because all you did is like fund your account with fiat, you click buy, and now it's in your Bitcoin account. But what actually happened in the background of the app is that a non-custodial wallet was created within the app, and the exchange took one of the addresses from the non-custodial wallet in the backend and sent the Bitcoin to that address. So as a user, you didn't even see a Bitcoin address. You just click buy and the money appears in your wallet. So that's the general idea. General idea is that you're going to have one non-custodial app and one non-custodial wallet and one non-custodial exchange in the same app. Another key concept is that whenever I build products, I want to build products that I will personally use. So we need to make it look and feel very easy for like a normie Bitcoin beginner. But once someone becomes more of a Bitcoin expert, I don't want him to need to move to another wallet because he's not getting his needs fulfilled by this wallet. This is the case for a lot of people. They start using a very basic wallet and then they feel like, oh, maybe I should move to Sparrow, or I should move to Electrum, or I should move to Wasabi because I want to use a hardware wallet, for example, and I want to connect my hardware wallet to my mobile or my desktop wallet. So in the Bull Bitcoin app, you have just a lot of advanced features that are not required to use as a beginner. The beginner will never see them necessarily unless he wants to. But for example, you can integrate a cold card or any hardware wallet that is compatible with the PSBT format, so like Passport or Bitbox or Jade. You can connect your hardware wallet to your Bitcoin exchange app. And when you're buying Bitcoin, for example, without ever having to manipulate Bitcoin addresses, you can send your Bitcoins to cold storage. Another feature that we have already, this is something that's live right now in the app. You can connect to your own node, your own Electrum server. For me, that's like a non-starter. Like I would never use an app like a Bitcoin wallet that doesn't allow me to connect to my own Electrum server. I know this is not something that a lot of users necessarily do, but it's very important to Bitcoin power users. Another thing also I'll mention is the mobile, and this is for people who know about Bitcoin a little bit, the mobile wallet is not sending the XPub to the exchange. The exchange is asking the wallet every time only for one address. right? So instead of the exchange importing an XPub, which is usually what exchanges do if you want to do a lot of withdrawals, like DCA to a new address, the exchange is because the exchange is connected to the wallet in the same app. You can do that. It's just asking for a new wallet, a new address every time. And also, if you want to sell Bitcoin, let's say you have a cold card and you want to sell Bitcoin, it's usually kind of like a pain in the ass for a lot of people. Like you connect it to your Sparrow and then you're on the exchange and then you copy the address from the exchange, you put it in Sparrow, you sign all of that. So what we built is basically you want to sell Bitcoin. The exchange sends a suggestion to your wallet saying, hey, if you want to sell Bitcoin, this is a transaction that is crafted with the amount that you want to sell. Do you want to sign this? This is how it works, basically. The wallet will not sign automatically. And the user can verify this because it's open source. So the exchange will be sending suggestions to the wallet. Never, always requires the user to confirm. The user can click, I want to send funds. It can create a unsigned PSBT. The user can send the PSBT to a hardware wallet, sign it there, send it back to their phone. Boom. Funds went from the hardware wallet directly to the exchange. And then the third part that we're working on now is a self-custodial Lightning Network integration. For people who know a little bit about Bitcoin development, we built the Bitcoin wallet using the Bitcoin development kit, which is a very advanced descriptor-based Bitcoin development library. And there's other toolkits for Lightning. There's the Lightning Dev Kit, and there's another toolkit called Breeze that we might be using. So we just started working on the Lightning Network integration, but what's interesting is because there's been all sorts of tools and libraries and software development kits built for people to build Lightning apps, it's actually really easy. It's easy to build a self-custodial Lightning Network wallet. We're going to see a lot of exchanges do this. So Relay in Europe, Relay is a big European Bitcoin exchange. They just announced last week the same kind of thing that we want to do with Lightning, which is the users of the exchange are going to be running a self-custodial Lightning wallet on their phone. The Bull Bitcoin mobile app is going to be taking care of channel management, of all the node management stuff. So a user will buy Bitcoin with Lightning.
All right.
The funds are going to be sent to his mobile device. The mobile device will be running a full node. The Lightning service provider setup is going to be opening a channel to the user. So he's just going to click buy and the funds are going to be on his phone. But what is really going to happen is there's going to be a full Lightning node that's spun up in the background. A channel is open to the user in the background and the payment goes through the channel in the background. So you really will not have to interface with all the complexities of Bitcoin and Lightning with this kind of setup.
And it's all derived from your 12 words, kind of like Phoenix Wallet, right? So which is great, or Electrum, right? That's a very important feature for me. I always recommend wallets that provide that. So
yeah. So the only thing that is ultimately going to be the difference in user experience between the non-custodial exchange and the custodial exchange is going to be the 12 words backup. That's something that no matter how hard we work at making the user experience better, smoother, more easy to understand, the user will always need to write down the 12 words. And actually the way that we've decided to do it is we're not forcing the user to write down the 12 words when they set up a wallet. This is always kind of like a pet peeve of mine when I'm testing a wallet. It is forcing me to write down the 12 words before I even get to use the wallet. Yeah. That's a pet peeve because maybe I'm at a party and I'm setting up a friend with a Bitcoin wallet and I don't want someone to have to write down it on Post-it and like lose it or something. To me, it's like you should only write down your 12 words when you're at home, when you're in a private spot, and when you're in good headspace, and presumably also after you've received, like once you start carrying, right? Yeah, anything of value, exactly. And the way we're just gonna do it is like if you don't do it, it's like kind of like how Phoenix does it in a lot of wallets. If you don't test your backup, we're just gonna spam you with notifications and pop-ups until you do. But ultimately, it is the responsibility of the user to back it up. But we're gonna obviously nudge the user towards, doing his backup. So that's all he has to. So basically, like, all you have to do to be a secure Bitcoin user is to write down your backup. And if you have a cold card, great. But realistically, because our wallet is open source and because it's based on the Bitcoin Dev Kit, which is a highly reviewed software, mobile wallet is safe to use. The only thing I would say is you never turn on auto updates. The big risk to a mobile wallet user is that the developer is malicious, or like, for example, if Bull Bitcoin is like evil, or if Bull Bitcoin gets compromised, we could push through the Play Store like a malicious version of the app which takes your keys. So as a mobile wallet user, just be cognizant of not auto-updating. That's the main risk. But other than that, mobile wallets are quite safe.
Awesome. Quick question. I always talk about wallet scrutiny. How are you guys doing with that so far?
Well, we've just published the wallet now. So, I mean, the wallet has been tested. I've been using the wallet for like 6 months. I haven't lost funds. Great. But also, there hasn't been a lot of attention to it. So we did do a security review. And the idea is that a lot of people are going to review it. So I'm probably, as the wallet develops, I'm probably going to go seek out reviews. For wallet scrutiny, we have to make the build reproducible. I don't know if it's reproducible now. But I mean, you can create the APK. So you could obviously build the APK yourself. But yeah, the idea is because it's open source, that's one of the great things about open source development. Like, because it's open source, I'm probably going to get people to review the wallet just out of curiosity or for free. So that's really awesome. And another thing also that's unique. So this model of having the exchange and the wallet combined in one app, another company has done it first. And I'm gonna shout out to them. It's Relay. So I've wanted to do this my whole life, but Relay did it and they executed it. The difference between Bull Bitcoin and Relay is that Relay is closed source and Bull Bitcoin is open source. The reason why that's a tricky thing is because we have to open source the whole thing. So we have to open source the Bitcoin exchange part also. So for the wallets to be open source within the same app, we have to open source everything. So that was kind of like a business decision. It's like, all right, are we going to open source like the KYC, the fiat part, all of that stuff? All of that stuff needs to be open source, and we're going to open source it because I would never use a wallet that's closed source, and I would never recommend a wallet that's closed source. So obviously, my wallet needs to be open source.
Makes perfect sense. Real quick, let's give us an overview of your plans with Bull Bitcoin. I know you're in Costa Rica right now. For those that don't know, Bull Bitcoin, it's basically the best or one of the best Canadian exchanges. Very low KYC, non-custodial, big fan. And now you guys, you're playing Costa Rica. What's next for Bull Bitcoin? You have the Cypher node, which is very important. Bitcoin infrastructure. Tell us about Cypher node, and then what are you thinking going forward for Bull Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'll try to be brief about Cypher node, but it's such an awesome and cool project. So Bull Bitcoin does not rely on any third-party Bitcoin service provider. We are running our own Bitcoin node, Bitcoin wallets. We have a whole coin join and coin anonymization and kind of like UTXO management setup. We have our own Lightning infrastructure. And this is an open source project. So it's basically like any Bitcoin exchange, which can run a Cypher node instance, a Cypher node project as their Bitcoin backend. Instead of using BitGo or Prime Trust or Fireblocks or Blockchain.info, Block Explorer, a lot of exchanges, they just kind of like plug into like the Coinbase API or something like that. So we basically created an alternative to like BitGo, Coinbase, Fireblocks, Prime Trust, and we made it open source. So I actually just hired a developer to work on Cypher node. We put a lot of energy in there. We don't have any funding. We don't have any grants. It's all financed by Bull Bitcoin, and anybody can use it. And other businesses are using Cypher node. So we're going to continue working on that, continue integrating all the new. We have a Liquid Network also component in Cypher node. So all the like cool Bitcoin technologies that could benefit a Bitcoin service, we always integrate in Cypher node. The next step for us, for example, is to integrate a pay join. So one of the cool stuff that I talked about is every transaction between the Bull Bitcoin wallet and the Bull Bitcoin exchange, which is the same app, but I mean, between the user's wallet and the Bull Bitcoin exchange is going to be a coin join by default using the pay join system. That's really exciting.
It's got a lot of coin control features as well, right?
Yeah, we spent a lot of times, a lot of energy and effort and time to spend on the address labeling and coin selection aspect, because even though the wallet is not advertised as a privacy wallet, I do want to have privacy features. So we're going to have coin join in there with pay join and coin selection. The only real privacy feature that we're not going to have is like traditional coordinated mixing. That's just really hard to do. And in terms of Bull Bitcoin, like you said that Bull Bitcoin is one of the best exchanges in Canada. Dude, Bull Bitcoin is the best exchange in the world. It is the best exchange in the world, and very few people know that because we've been so far only available in Canada. If you ask people that are in Canada, they're like, "Fuck, Bull Bitcoin's fucking awesome." So we are doing an international expansion. We've already started with Costa Rica. We started with Costa Rica because I live in Costa Rica right now, and I had a vested interest in having a non-custodial Bitcoin-only exchange work in Costa Rica. There was no off-ramp, on-ramp in Costa Rica that existed at all. The only thing that you could do is like wire money to Binance from a bank account, and that was like really just a very terrible experience with the banking system. So we expanded to Costa Rica. I've been working hard. I can just tell you, like, Mexico is on our immediate roadmap, so we've been working very hard. We have an office in Mexico City now. We're expanding in Mexico sometime during the next year. We also want to expand in Brazil. Already working on that. So Brazil and Mexico are kind of like, 6 months kind of roadmap. We're also going to be launching in Europe. We are dealing currently with all the regulatory crap that has to do with Europe. But yeah, we want to expand internationally because in the beginning I wanted to create a really nice product. So I created Bull Bitcoin kind of like almost like as a vanity project where I wanted to really make this just out of principle, like create an exchange that I believed was just doing all the right things. Like what is your ideal exchange? Just make it. And it turns out that, and by the way, we don't have any venture capital funding. All of this was self-financed, and we don't have any loans from banks or anything. So it was like a bootstrapped kind of project. Turns out that people actually do value that a lot. So Bull Bitcoin's been very successful in Canada. And the number one thing that people ask me is like, when are you going to expand to Europe? When are you going to expand here? When are you going to expand there? So I will give the people what they want, and I will expand internationally. So yeah, expect Bull Bitcoin in Europe, Latin America, Asia and Africa are like tough nuts to crack for me, but definitely LATAM and Europe are going to happen next year.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. I'm a huge fan of Bull Bitcoin. Really appreciate the work you're doing, man.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Juan.
Catch you guys on the next one.